All right, so the word is that, so then the Rebbe becomes the Rebbe. So we have to understand something, that we're not going to get into deep yet into what does it mean, what a Rebbe is, right? We want to be real with this, okay? Let's all understand something, that we don't know what a Rebbe is. We were not fortunate enough to grow up to understand what is meant that Rebbe. Okay, a Rebbe is something that it's something very real. It's not a joke, right? A Rebbe is not something that you come in once a year to. A Rebbe is a real deal. Vashanto set up a system where a Rebbe is, if you're a chassid of a Rebbe, you're under his auspices. He's got you. Like, you're good. That's how they worked by the Chagas Rebbes. In the Chabad Rebbes, they also got you, but they made you work, right? Because it's moich, and there was no freebies. And different people had different noveres. Some people are like, listen, this is not for me. I come to my Rebbe with the kvittel, and he takes care of my business. I give him my opinion. And some people are like, no, let's, it's whatever your calling is. Because that guy that needs to do that's his avodah. He has to be more physical. So, a Rebbe is once you understand how sensitive a Rebbe is, you understand that they're just a higher conscious. Let's just say they're shameless, right? They're just shameless. Because they're a different type of body, as we learned in Tanya, as we started scratching the surface on. The body of a tzaddik is a whole, he has no tivus. Can you imagine for 1 second that you have no desire for anything that we have desires for? No food, no women, no money, like really no desire. Like to the point where I really don't care what you think. Like I like to get physical. They don't smell, they don't sweat, it's a different, they don't need to. They go to the mikveh every day, and they're clean because it's a whole different ballgame. Why? Because as the Rebbe explains in Pasuk Eliyahu, because we're not really here. We covered this last week, but we're going to keep drilling it. We're not really here the way we think we're here. Right? I'm not physically, this is not my existence that I'm going until I hit some resistance. I'm way more idle than that. We're way more fine than that. And Chassidus is opening us up to that way of thinking, that we can just naturally let go into flow, and we're able to experience what does it mean to be Am Kadosh, Am Yisrael. Who are we? What do we represent? With what he thinks. What are you talking about? Our way of thinking is a whole different way of thinking. We have a whole different way of processing stuff. We think in letters, right? When we go into Machshava, we think in letters, in Hebrew letters. No other nation in the world thinks in Hebrew letters. Okay, because that's what my tati taught me when I grew up. Thank you, right? The Chinese guy wasn't brought up and raised with his tati talking to him and all of this. But we are, because we are Am Kadosh. And if you want to say that they have their letters, good. They also have their letters, good. But we have the real deal. And this is the proof, right? So we have to look at a Rebbe, especially the Rebbes. There's a lot of Rebbes that didn't say Torah. The Rebbes that were like, they were just holding space for their people. They didn't really say much. It was a different way, right? And Lelef was a whole different ballgame. It was more, the Rebbe was there. But in Lubavitch, the Rebbe was just pouring out Torah. Like, we're talking about 40 years of Rebistova for this, the last Rebbe, the 40 years of Rebistova, and it didn't stop, right? It does like every week, 6 hour Fabrengens. What do you think we thought about it? It was just Torah, new ways of thinking, and every piece in the Chumash, like, how does that make sense? Like, what did happen over there? What was Moshe Rabbeinu thinking when he walked in? They're like all the smallest question that the mind of the intrigued, interesting, creative Yiddish brain is thinking that wasn't available for us to even ask the question, because you're trained that machshava is tameh. You're not allowed to think. You're not allowed to expand. Just don't think. Don't think. We needed that coming out of such dark days that we had from coming out from that goals. We needed to be hit on the head, not to think, just to go. They made it, and now we have to open up. So Chabad has given us that vast. I mean, you open up the Likutei Sichos. You have them divided in the parsha. I have it like that because it's like for layman's, like the real have it in Chalakim. All of it up to Lamed Daled, whatever it was, or the higher up. But here you have like every parsha with all the sichos, and you have any topic you can think of. Why didn't he see? How come? What do you mean Yosef didn't recognize? His brothers didn't recognize him. We're talking on a level of in a world of oir. They weren't talking. They saw oir. Like what? They didn't recognize that this is from their. This is their brother, like something that they're talking to something that's like a son of Yaakov. You know what I mean? He hit from them. These are real questions that we don't, right? We happen to be the Rebbe didn't talk, but we find it for Shtitper. Hillel Parich has a whole spiel on that, right? So
Hillel Parich what?
Hillel Parich was the Alter Rebbe's Chassid. He was.
It was like a Rebbe in his. I mean, he wasn't a Rebbe, but he was. Anywhere else, he probably would have been.
Anywhere else, it would be a Rebbe, but in Lubavitch, would give him. They would give a clap. Like when a Chassid said something that was too Richa Kodeshi, they beat him up, right? What do you think? Like to make sure he shouldn't get to his ego. These were real stories where once a chassid came running out and he said, "Don't eat the chon, don't eat the chon." So nobody's like, they're like, why? They're like, the milk fell into it. So everybody stopped and then they investigated. They saw, yep, it fell in the milk, and they asked him, "How did you know?" He's like, "I just had a hergish." Like Rucha Kodesh, they gave him klep, right? Shouldn't, because this is Rebbe level, right? So he shouldn't get to his head. This is how Chassidim played. They weren't kidding around.
Not for politics. Don't play Rebbe here.
No, they were real beating each other up, because it's at the end of the day we're Basar V'dam, right? And we're not Rebbes should give, right? It's a different. So, anyways, the word is that. So we're talking about anything that we can, that the mind, and it trains our mind to just let go, to think, have a question like, what happened over there? What was really happening there? What does it mean? He says one word, and then there is 17 Perushim right there. And that's what they're just taking a Rashi. And then you have all types of Mafarshim. Everybody's telling you clearly what was going on, and it's not what this guy is saying. It's something else completely. Right? Let's talk about my question in the Gemara, where they're arguing what happened, how the avodah was done in the Zamigdash. Right? Did the Kohen do it this way or that way? What are you talking? One guy says like this, one guy says like this. First of all, this is after the Zamigdash. They did have the history and they knew what was done. Right? It was Ben Achamen, they still carried the torch of Torah. So what it did, and second, what do you tell me clear? We know in the Zamigdash it's Chayav Mitzvah if I move by here. You tell me clear like this, and you tell me clearly, so which one is it? Like, there was one truth, and they were connected to the super brain, like what was happening over there. So we see from this that it's these questions, you can look at it like, oh, machlekes, but really when you expand on it, you see that it's infinite. It's everything. He's everywhere. He's in here, he's in there. That's one. My own shot is that it looks like a Kohen Gadol was like a Rebbe type of thing. He felt. He knew his avodah, but I think he had some, like sometimes the Rebbe davens mincha after Shkia, that type of thing. Like the Amshanam Macht Avdullah Dienstig, like that type of thing. I think they had some. They became, some gepravet. So he felt today everything. Again, this is my own Torah. But I think that's the way it had to be, right? Within the lines, they had movement. He could move around, and that's why one Mandomer said it was like this. One said like this. They couldn't say clearly this is the halacha.
I think they would have came Chaim, right?
Of course,
well, true.
And they both were acted out. It's just that the Kohen Gadol like a prophet. He saw a gezer. He had to do something. Go Mesiris Nefesh, right? He went all the way, like that type of, whatever it was. All right, l'chaim. So Chabad comes and teaches that. Now, going into that, since today is Yud Alef Shvat, today is a very, very powerful day. As you get into the world of sensitivity, you realize that it's not just, that's what I said before, that the Friediger Rebbe gave a mimer on the day of his mother's yahrzeit, and then he passes away that day, and he gives the mimer for his stalkers. So we have to understand that a Rebbe is a shameless thing, and as we're waking up to this, that a Rebbe is a more powerful thing, not a physical thing as we think. He's hashpa in Welt. Bashafer has a manifestation that he found a way how he's going to show up in Welt. The question is, I'll go very wild with this, but only if you're Lubavitcher Chassid you can handle that. They ask a question: can Eibishter come into world? Can he be such a trickster to be mitzamtzem himself and come into Welt? So the answer is no. I mean, like, it's Welt. He can't see him physically, but the answer is the Chassid knows yes. He could. You look at a Rebbe. That's Atzem Semahus Malubash and Aguf. These are very strong, wild ideas, and you have to, be there have to have the humility to be makabel that. But the Nakuda is that we understand that a Rebbe in their Torah is Nishkan Chachmas. This is real business. Not in a scary way, but in a very redeeming and a very powerful way. So today is Yud Shvat. So we're going into Chabad is not like I say, don't look at it as a physical thing. It's a program. We're entering in a program. We're entering in a new consciousness, and it's called Chabad. There is WhatsApp. There is, if you think about it, WhatsApp is also, how is it possible that we have this plastic klutz phone? And I'm recording messages here, 2 years, thousands of messages back and forth, and I can go back to it. I get a new phone, it's still there. I can go back to it, to this little plastic that's made in China, that burns out, and I'm talking to it, and I can record, reverse, rewind, cut, paste. So it's a consciousness. It's called WhatsApp. What Choshech wants us to believe is that they're tricking us by us thinking that this is the koyach. When really they tapped into our free thoughts. It's called a cloud, right? It's very out there stuff, but this is what it is. This is the chachmas of merging technology with spirituality. So, but Nimrod, Tzayed Befiv, he's hunting in everybody's mind. We think, so every 6 months, every year, they come up with a new distraction, how cute and how beautiful it is. It's more, forget about the process of controlling the mind into their way, into their tumah way, choshech way of thinking to keep us hostage, but it's also distracting us from that this is not really what's recording, it's this that's recording, and this is how we're tapping in. And this is a concept, this is the whole example of Ma'asa Kadosh Baruch Hu. Like they think that they are imposing on us, but really he's using them because eventually he's going to pull the phone out and we're going to realize that we're just in one state. We're just achdus. This is the yichud. This is what it's about. We don't need this. This is just holding us back. So going into Yud Alef Shvat, this is the day that the Lubavitch Rebbe was his Achtara. He became the Melech today. All right, and it's real time, right? It's real time. It's really it happened. A shift happened. A powerful shift happened. There's 40 years of the deepest and most mysterious Torah that's brought into Welt from this Achtara, and we're still deciphering it, right? It's 25 the biggest brains out there, and it's like it's opening up. So this is it's called a consciousness. We're entering into this consciousness today. We should all be blessed, and we all are blessed. Whoever is learning the Torah, that is like we have. To hold on. You can check in. You can plug into Welt. You can plug into the table. You can plug into this. Or you can plug into that. And it's your choice. This is the Bechira that we're talking about. The outcome is not our business. We don't know the outcome. We can't do it. He's the boss. But we could choose which way we're going to plug into. And the Torah says, choose life. You know why? Because I am life. This is who I am. Everything else has nothing to do with me. Everything else is, we can get into, it's here to hold space for me, it's here to give me this. All that is still, in this level, it's still dealing with Sur Mera. I'm still getting caught up in the details and not plugging into what's important. All right, I don't bother myself with anything else that's going on. So we're going to start the Maimer. We learned already 3 times the first piece, in different forms, because I think the Rebbe brings it down. Let me just see something. So we'll go faster if anybody has any questions. Let's go for it. All right. What does it mean, Basel Legani? He's coming into my, it says the touch of Basel Legani is that come into my to my garden. Come into my garden. Do you guys want me to touch every word or?
What is the pussy? Who says that?
This is in Shlomo Melech.
Who is the speaker?
Shlomo Melech.
Shlomo Melech says Busi Irmeike.
Yeah, he talked about Shlomo Melech. Shlomo Melech was talking all day. He's also talking. He just talked. He saw things. He didn't stop talking, and he spoke about the beauty. He was able to the
beauty, the darkness. He covered everything, right?
It's a good question. Yes, but you understand also.
I was asking just the task.
I know. It's a good question. So we have to understand one more time. Hamishna Madaberes Beficha is like when these people were talking, it was the higher consciousness talking. Where Rabbi Yehuda Nasi was talking, it was this consciousness that they named Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, and he was just throwing out there of Shai, of Asha, Abai, these are real. They were so powerful. They manifested in Welt as humans, but they were superhumans, right? Okay, now Shlomo Melech, and that's the Shefa that they brought into Welt. That's the Ashpah. They were so strong that 2,500 years later, we're still learning their stuff. That's how powerful they are. That's what type of light they were. It's like no matter, it went through Bavel, it went through Edom, it's in Edom now, it went through anything, and it's here with us, because this is the fire that it was. It was the Yesod of, they were Meyasid, the Welt, Moshe Rabbeinu, Torah Shvuksav, and all that stuff. Right? We think about all the stuff that they destroyed from us, but they couldn't get away with this, because we are this. We are the shameless. We are that. As long as a Yid is on planet Earth, Torah will always be here.
Sure.
It cannot be here because you are a Torah. We are all Torah. We are all shameless. If it's bugging you out, it should.
What?
Exactly.
Was
gives the headache.
No, I'm saying like we as long as a Yid is in Welt, there is Torah, because we are Torah. We are not our problems. We are Torah. We are shameless. Okay. So now Shlomo, not every tzaddik, every melech that came into Welt. He brought in, that was his color in the Welt. So Shlomo Melech was the smartest man in the Welt, and he had tremendous color to his level of wisdom and understanding of how he saw and appreciated Creator. And he made the Shir Shirim, so he was talking about it, and it's very cryptic. Like people can go, you can read it, and you just, you go in there, and it's beautiful. I mean, I never did it. I'm just saying, like people that do it, it's Shlomo Melech.
Unless, only if you don't say that it's Hecher Zach.
Not exactly that, because once your mind...
Shir Shirim, we're used to say that Shir Shirim is something very high, you can get into
You know why? If I may answer that?
Because the real...
Because it's only talk about love. It's
Mhm.
everything about love, love, love. And this is something that's also in our community,
So
unfortunately.
now that we're not doing Sur Meram, we're doing only Asay Toif, the answer to that is, this was a Sur Meram, but we're not doing Sur Meram, we're doing only Asay because we're higher than this now. When we're learning Chassidus, we have nothing to do with that. That is holding us up. The answer to that question is, because now that you unlocked your brain, that you were told you have permission to have imagination, go learn Shir Hashirim, and just go with your thoughts. And whatever your thoughts are taking you, that's where it's taking you. You know how you know you can trust it? Because when you have a bad thought, do you see the reaction to that? When you have an impure thought, is there a response immediately? When you think about putting out your hand, do you have a response immediately? So my thoughts are very powerful. No matter what's going on, I can think and I can say, and it's going to manifest, right? Bring me a cup of water. Can you please get me a tea? Like it has real power. The person that can't speak doesn't have that power. The animal doesn't have that power. So now that you know that your thoughts are very powerful, and you're allowed to think, because this is what Creator wants. He wants everybody to just go. He doesn't want, we needed this to structure us. Now that you're a proper vessel, now you can start free thinking. Otherwise, it looks like a left movement that a zucher met a zucher and a kaiva met that's what free for all. This is what unchanneled vessel looks like. Like
no structure.
Right. So Torah is here. So now that we have a proper vessel, and we have to understand that where we come from, because that type of a machine we are. And we needed that type of training to be humbled and be properly, so now I can open my brain up to what's coming, to be a free thinker, to think and imagine about my Creator in any type of way I want, because He's unlimited and He can tolerate anything. He has the rules, how you want to approach me, but Tahara, He's like, this is what you do, this is what I'm about, this is my purity. You think this is what I'm about. So He gives you, and as you follow these rules, just go. This is what Mashiach is about. Just become a free thinker. And that's what the Lubavitcher Rebbe told us to do. He's like, start thinking for yourself. Look, I'm giving you everything. Anything you can think of. Right? And then on top of that, he has letters, thousands of letters that people asked him, any topic. And he gave adracha. And it's powerful. Like, you want to think like sometimes, okay, what does he say on this? Anything. It's like there's Hashem in everything, and there's a way a chassid goes, and then you don't fool yourself. You know where it's at. All right. So that's the Bas Legani.
So Bas Legani, who came here in the Gani?
This is the Shlomo Melech is saying that the Eibishter is coming in the Gani, and he's saying Yachoisi Kala, talking to us, to come in to his garden. He's saying that the Eibishter is telling Shechina is telling us to come into his garden, and he's inviting us in the garden. All right. Weisz b'medrash b'mekaymer lagan ein kesef kan lagan legnuni lamakam shoy ikra betchila. Okay, listen to these powerful words. L'makma shoy ikir betchila, the ikir hashchina betachtonim hoise. In other words, the ikir betchila was in Welt. He's talking about this Welt. This is the ikir. The ikir tachlis hakavana of creating Welt was this world. This world, chips, tea, this is what it was about. Alright?
Before creation?
This is after the world was created, when the Welt was beschaffen geworden, when they Welt beschaffen geworden, this is again the ikir kavuna, the Shechina gewend do as with full purpose, with full color and understanding, was here in Welt.
Well, it was after the Tzimtzum already, no?
No. Halt on.
Yeah, this is after the world was created.
After the Simpson, right?
Yeah.
So how? Okay.
What's the question? What's the problem here?
No, this is when in Zen Shemaskim, as a Kenzan Shechina V'Techtonim, yeah.
No, he's saying that when the world was created, it was done. Okay, we may think right now that the Welt, the Atzilus, and everything, Tzimtzum, and all that. So he's letting us know right now is that Shlomo Melech is saying that Welt, this is Iker Welt. You're talking about the full glory of what Eibusha had in mind, how he wanted, was here in this Welt.
Or has to be revealed in this world.
In this world, yeah. Correct. Weil der gaat het zadas, nistalka schine met eretz lirikir. Weil der gaat kein ve'enish, nistalka schine met lirikir, alof labez v'gimel, v'achaka v'der amabel, nistalka met lirikir, gimel adalet. So basically, these are the steps that as every doer was doing their, whatever they were doing, sin, it started being nostalgic. It started removing itself. And
why is everybody like sort of stuck with the chet hatzadas? Why it was goyim such a period, this was goyim everything. I mean, it's just like you're not allowed to eat treife, you're not allowed to touch datzadas, you're not allowed to eat milchige flesh. And what's the...
Right, because first of all...
What's the starkheid of the pagan?
Sure. So there's two things that happen over here. First of all, it activated a whole new program. Before that, there was no such thing as eating busur b'chul. Everything was purified. Everything was okay. There was full light and there was no klippa, there was no cheshach.
Nakedness, yeah.
Exactly, there was no ego, there was nothing. After that, after the chet etzas, we're all there, we're all part of that consciousness. It wasn't that other Merushinga, we were all part of it. We were just a little, whatever it was, little spoiled brats that wanted more. We wanted more. What is that? I want more of Eibishter. I wanted to do more. And we ate from it.
It was such a purity, then why did it actually happen?
That's a part of the plan, no?
So I guess.
There's a lot of chassidus on that, by the way.
Yeah.
Did she really have free choice, or was it supposed to happen?
I know. I understand that the Nochash told her to do it, but if it was such a purity and everything was so purified and open and clear, so I mean it should be like black and white. Hashem told me no is no.
Right. So I'll tell you a Yud Alef Shvat answer.
You said that the one thing that Moshe just said, like spoiled brat, like there was something you could not have. You can't.
This is the answer, because it's not bad. Eitzadas is not b'mehisoy ra. Forget it. It's a lichtigkeit and it's gemacht for dich.
Go ahead, Moshe.
What's that?
I think he asked that there was no sound by Yetzer Hara, the Nochash, die de schlechte Sachen essen von Eitzadas.
No.
So I fragt, das Vater Eitzadas is gewesen also pure, if I was gewesen geglaubt, ra.
Correct.
So I think
No, he didn't ask that. He asked something. He asked.
How could they do it?
First of all, there was Ra. Let's just say Ra had to be here because the Welt was already Olam Asiyah was already created. In order for it to be a human, there had to be Ra somewhere. But he asked, how did Adam Arishan, if it was so pure and he saw everything, how did he make that mistake? How did he... If everything is good, if I'm all white, how can I even go there?
That was for sure a bigger oil, it wasn't Ra. It was too big, the oil, no?
I don't know, that's a different question right now.
This is in the pussy.
Eitzadas, you're going to know much more. You're
It's
going to be like that.
It's noiga, it's confusion. Now you have to choose. Well, it's confusion.
If it's toivera, then it's confusion.
So what were you going to answer?
What I was going to answer is that...
Yeah, I'll go for that.
No, I just... It's right, yeah, put it even there, it's blocking me.
The whole thing's to do win the belt, right?
What I was going to say is that, because I have the same question the time of the Bais Hamikdash, I've been pounding that question a lot, where if there was such oil, why ruin something that's good? But fine. But now he asked the question, and the Yud Alef Shvat thing is the answer is, what suffices that is, because imperfection if you're really perfected and you're one with your oneness, we just had to give a bit to the Nachash.
Give a what?
We had to give a bit of them. There was something else. There was a creation
It had to be
there.
elevated.
There was a creation there that was struggling. There was a brother there that was dying. And in perfection, Gam Kiel we get Salomon.
So this was Bisman bias.
But why should I? But now,
Why
what
should
you-
we
First
yeah,
process.
so
is,
basically,
right?
what you're telling me that Doidas and Doidas and Doidas and the whole world is suffering because the Nocha should live.
No,
They-
I have a secret for you. Where are we and who are we? We're a part of that Nachash. If not for that, we wouldn't be here right now. Our tzaddikim Zaydas would be, they're already in Mashiach. Who is still here? The Alter Rebbe, they're already, the Rebbe said Mashiach, they're already there. They're in Mashiach consciousness. We are here. They did it for us. So this consciousness, what do you think about Matan Torah when they said stop? Because we're all going to disappear over here. Who were they worried about?
For us.
It was us. We're like, I'm not ready yet. I need 2,500 years of processing, of cleansing, of going through everything to wake up that you are it. I can't process it right now because I will not exist anymore. And there was a promise, the Yidduch Meni Nidduch. Eibishter told Avraham Avinu, okay, your kids are going to go through the process, but I'll give you a guarantee nobody's going to be left behind.
Touch on the Yidduch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, this is a whole new
It's
idea.
very humbling, right? Very humbling.
Wow.
Yeah, you'll be okay.
1 second. So we couldn't process the Matan Torah. So it's not the Dara Midbar was able to
We are Dara Midbar. We are Dara Midbar. We are Dara Mitzrayim. We are it. But
We were the ones stopping it.
But you have to stop looking. You have to stop looking at it linear. It's not past and future. It's not past and future. That's only the Chet Eitz Hadas confused us that we are thinking it's past and future. It's all in the Hoiva. It's all in the now. So instead of looking at it forward like 2,500, 3,500 years back and 200 years left to go, look at it as in consciousness. We are opening up. It's all happening right now. B'riyas ha'olam is happening every second. It's happening every second.
So the Chet Hatzadas is also happening again.
Of course. We're in the Chet Eitzadas and we're opening up consciousness. Every day I'm waking up to, and then there's more Choshech coming. So I'm waking up more. I have to go deeper because I realize that we've been through enough now that we know that fear doesn't get us anywhere. By being afraid, I don't have to. So what do I have to do? I'm just going to surrender to whatever happens. And I'm going to take a deep breath and surrender more. And tomorrow they're going to make. And tomorrow, yesterday, my bills and my pay surrenders because there is really nothing. But what about when I'm going to have security? Look at people that had security. They don't really have security. Everything is exposed. The whole lie is exposed. Right? So the whole lie was just built to get into trigger a consciousness that was as low as we are to give us to the highest elevation, because he wanted Dira B'Tachtonim. He wanted him to be seen even in this maze that's all intricate and fadrait. So even in that, because we are that type of fadrait consciousness.
Spirit.
We need to get into the who is the he, who is God.
Let's continue the Maimer. Ik heb deze bij de Sharab. Oké, we gaan daar maar een stak maar keer gimel dalen. Ik heb deze bij de Sharab al pas ik wist met skela vaie lekem mesalig bagan. Om de baba mahalig en kesef kan ele mishalig. Kafets of Ozel. In other words, Friedrich Rebbe has given us a different touch on what Nistalik is, I think. We're going to see it soon. In other words, it's not that it's going away. It's ugiti. No, then it keeps going. It doesn't stop, right? So it could easily be that I'll put up Ishmael's kula vayla kim mesalig again. Umrava mahalig en kesef kan ele mesalig. Kafetz of Ozel. Achkach am the Shvat tzadikim. After that it kept going up to the seventh himmel. Am the Shvat tzadikim, 7 tzadikim zijn. Kimme we ride as schinde lamata. They brought it back down here lamata. Avraham zag we heard it as a schinde merkier zayin levav. Avraham was zeiger and he was able to bring down schinde from zayin to vav, from 7 to 6. V'itzlak mevav lehei. Ad kemoshe shi ashvi v'chol ashvi v'chavin. And alle zibbete zijn they are the heride lamata baritz. The Iker, The Iker Gilei Elikus Hoi Bebeis HaMikdash. The Chsiv Asil HaMikdash V'Shechante B'Sechem. So the Iker Gilei of Elikus from this thing that did all this and created and wanted and needed was in the Beis HaMikdash. Finally, when we had a Beis HaMikdash, they put down the bricks and it was designed in a way, the stone that was designed in such a way with perfectly alignment, and bringing in these supercharged brains, the Kahanim and the Kohen Gadol, and they were just bringing oil and from there going into the whole Welt, right? That was the program then. It doesn't say in there, it doesn't say inside the Beis HaMikdash. It says Besoich Cham, inside them, which is, in the Alter Rebbe goes in with that, like, in other words, we are the ones that he's dwelling in, right? This earth is in us. And an interesting lashon is b'chal echad ve'echad. If you think about it, it's the same lashon that we receive by Shema Yisrael Shem Elokeinu Shem Echad. It's a very it's like as we say an atzmas moment that the Friedrich Rebbe has given us over here. Right, it's the same lashon. In other words, if you think about it, you have like a flash of echad, and there's shechina within us. So we are when we're echad unifiedly. We're all one. We're all part of the one. Tzelem Alikim, the flash of Gavlichkeit.
I guess in each person is each yid is his own bringing the Avish's rotzon of what he wants in its belt, like through each one of us.
We're all one big organism, and
each one has his own.
Exactly, expressing it in.
Right.
But all the purpose is about the Echad program, like unification and getting, this is what it is. As we're opening ourselves up,
right,
we're in flow. We're becoming one with the truth. And as you're one with the truth, you put the other person into one with the truth, right? And this is how this is going.
You took?
Yeah.
Good stuff. It's new.
Shut my phone, sorry.
We should do what we're supposed to do.
All right. Everybody here?
Yes.
How should you do?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we zeggen warte. Ik kan gillen schinen, ik gillen de kus hebben bij samig zich ze was samig zich gaan te bezuigen. Bezuigen alleen maar ele bezuigen, maar zeggen leggen weg. We zeggen tzadikim hier ze arts wischen el adelaim. Tzadikim, the tzadikim are gonna be yours. They're gonna how do you say yashin? Inherit. They're gonna inherit the land. And v'yishkin la'adalei. Yishkin is like is a lashon from Shechina. Is going to rest, right? If you're righteous, the Shechina rests. The tzaddik mirshi arda shehu gan eden. Right? Aretz is gan eden. Nei ma lefi shem mamshichim mashkilim einem mamshichim beginnen shoychan ad morim v'kodesh. Right? How is this happening? Why are the tzaddikim? Why do they have gan eden? Because it's a simple math. It's not any more than rolling my eyes. He's a tzaddik. No, if this is what you do, if you are a righteous man, you don't have fears, and you're bringing down earth, and you are in Gan Eden. That's it. It's not like let's wake up. We're not truck drivers anymore, right? We're not coal diggers, coal mine carriers, coal carriers. Shehi begir lamata. V'zeh basi lagani, laganuni, lamakim shohay ikir betchila. And this is the touch from the pasuk. Basi lagani, come into my garden. Lamakim shohay ikir betchila. The ikir shchina b'tachleim leisa. The ikir shchina was here in this world. The Indian the hina tachas hakavana that is savas ha'olam. The whole purpose of creating the world was the nesava kadosh baruch hu lisbarach dir b'tachtanim. The nesava kadosh baruch hu lisbarach dir b'tachtanim. He had a desire. Agat atava. That he should have a dwelling space here in the Tachtanim. Well, let's get into the word Ataiva. Let's put it to rest a little for now. Ataiva is, we're using a very like an expression. It's a very big expression on Ataiva because we all associate Taiva with Taivas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Lust,
right? But once you understand that desire. That's why it's important to talk to the kids, right? About when they turn 11, 12, to talk to them about sexuality, because we have to catch that Because the desire is our tool. That's our startup mechanism, how we go into higher consciousness. It's all within the desire, because in this he had a desire. How does a desire play out by us? What's the most powerful tool that I have for desire? So if you don't, you have to chop it right away to bring it in. It's a kedusha right away, because this is a key. This is a vessel. This is a key to go upward, not downward. It's not supposed to pull us into Haimana. It's supposed to go up. We were in Gullahs, but we're waking up. We're able to feel something. So if I'm able to feel, I have a desire for this, but I also have a desire for that. Right? I'm already feeling something. I'm able to think. And I see how my desires affect my thinking, and it affects the sparks of my imagination. What is the sparks of our imagination? That's my desire. It comes from the same place. It's a desire, and you take in that desire, and if you have clear imagination, because then you have clear sparks, you're able to understand what's going on over here, and it's not just dead letters. So it's very important to chop it right away and use that. So when we're saying this, the closest, not the closest, the way it manifests in us is our desires. That desire is the desire of Creator. And the same way, you can't ask any questions about the desires that I have now. What does it really mean? I can't have any questions. Because a raw desire is pure expression. I don't know, why don't I know? Because it's who I am. This is my makeup. This bottle does not have a desire to think. Because it's not. This table doesn't have a desire to eat. Or his desire is this. He's sitting here quietly. He's completely bottled to what we're doing. We're going to keep this here for 20 years. He's like, no problem, I'm here. Because he's from a higher source. He's a diamond. It flips. The higher, the lower. Why is it the higher, the lower? Because the lower, he's able to mavatal himself, shows that the higher is up. Because up there is also bittul himself. It's so high up that he just machmachate anything for you. Anything for you, right? So the taiva is the same way when we have a taiva. We do have a taiva. So understand, you want to know who it is. You want to know where it is. He's your desires. As far as you're concerned. As far as Welt is concerned, there's stars, there's this, there's that. But as far as the purest thing of him is my desire. What I feel, that is him. My life force in me, that is him. I'm not gonna go to. We're gonna stop at this right now, not because it's because it's
not familiar. We're not familiar.
Okay, so
my question was if he decided that he made us impure, yeah, also.
Pause 1 second. I wanted you to start so we know what the question is. So we're gonna get sidetracked. You're saying like this. I want to leave it because. Just process. Just let it be. It's not something that can be. And now you're gonna get it because you're not getting it. You have to be it. You have to understand it. So just let it. Let it process. Let it open. Questions come, and then you start living from that place. And
the reason.
And some days it's clear, and some days it's not clear. It depends how much chomer is in the right.
Now the reason, you see like sometimes so many balachivas like they're like. Bleeding and they're like going up and up, and you see them that they have such a taste in Yiddishkeit that we don't have. So I always thought that this is because they started when they're 20, they're 18, their brain is open, their mind is open, and they actually start to understand what's going on. We have no idea what's going on. Yid, what is a Yid? What is Eibishter? I have no idea. What is Eibishter? What is he? He created the world. Why did he create the world? He wants to give. So why does he want to have? In the sound like why? To give does he need a dira b'tachtonim? He can give from Shemayim too.
Mm-hmm. He's giving from Shemayim, but he wants a
manifestation in this world.
No, he wants a creature, a Adam, a creation that runs on this program. That he doesn't have. He wants a creation that runs on this program that I can drink and I can express, I can taste, and it's like, wow. And then seeing him in that place. No, forget about thanking him is amateur stuff.
Okay.
Thanking him. Baruch Hashem, like, was he really here? The Weisz with the Zugstafilla, you know what you're talking about? Borichat to Weisz. Easy for you're programmed. You're just a dummy. Makal Brocha, thank you. No, he wants you to understand that when you drink, what is it? Shimon Bar Yochai was in the Mara for 30 years. He didn't make a bracha, didn't do any. He was sitting there, Bakam, everything. He was living it. He was that type of machine. But this is what he wants. That's Mashiach consciousness. Why are all the mitzvahs going to go and we're going to have only, I don't know exactly, I don't know, don't quote me on it, but there won't be only, Purim is going to stay. Because we're going to be walking, living oil machines that we're just going to be there. Right? So you're still associating with the Baal Tshuva as it's two separate things. Like I get it, I'm just breaking it down for you. There's a mountain called Lakewood, and then there's a mountain called some trippy Baal Tshuva guy that just starts letting the edge of 20. Then I'm the chusa that I'm sitting over here.
Supposedly the chosen.
Forget about that. Forget about that. We're not talking about that nonsense.
I
All right?
became Baal Tshuva at 20.
Okay, we're not talking about that. We're talking about really. They're separate people. It's not really a separation. There is a creation of Eibishter that is rock, white stone, and then there is dark stone, and then there is limestone. There's all types of stones. There's all types of granite. Our biggest, what Pare is doing for us, first of all, is conquer and divide. Right? This is how Klippa works. I'm setting up a status quo, and if you can't fit that, then you are just a loser. You're nothing, and there's separation. This guy is this guy. This guy is like this. This guy is black. Really? Do I really have a problem with black, white? Yeah. Do any of us have an issue over here? Whatever. It's like we live together, we have no issues. They're creating that. So this thing is not just here. It's happening across. We're doing the same thing. With this Chassidus, that Chassidus. But really, it's just a consciousness that looks like this. And he has to go through his bitter in order for him to pop to get that level of understanding. And we are here, Williamsburg, Satmar, you're going through this type of bitter because this is really who we are. We are that type of consciousness, that type of chomer that had to go through 30 years of eating kugel and kishke in order to pop. And I'm like, look at us. What's going on over here? What am I doing over here? Right? So that's all it is. It's nothing him, this, that. Stop with that. So this is the level of Asay Toiv. Because Sur Mara, we can do this. While we're in Golas, while we're working out to get out of the mud, we got to do this. But at the end of the day, get back to the source. And then all of a sudden, you have a million questions. Now, every now and then, we have to feed the frenzy. He really wants to go back. I really wants to, bitch out that his father abused him and that his mother. Fine, okay, so come, tell me. But only, so you got it off your chest. Now you can clear it. Now it can be a stronger vessel for as he says over here, the words. That's the only reason I'm doing it. And that's Gan Eden. Exactly, right here. That's Gan Eden right here. That's Nis Avaloi Kadosh Baruch Hu Lisa Dira Batatana. All right?
Can I mention something from Nachman?
Sure.
There is a sikh that Gan Eden and Gehenna is here. I think I could
understand.
Yeah.
I always thought, okay, Gan Eden is somebody that is makabel everything by Ahava. That's also Madani. But it's more than that.
Yeah. And sometimes the Gehenna is so bad that the person, listen to this, the person does not have access to oil. Has no access to oil.
To it?
To oil, to light.
To listen, in the Gehenna.
Listen, you can live in Williamsburg.
We see it. What do you mean?
You can live in Williamsburg. You can live in Williamsburg. You can live, or you can be stuck in the Amazon, or you can be stuck somewhere. You know everything, but you don't have access to oil. And then, now go to the Asay Tov. Okay, then you can be in Gehenna, and all of a sudden a door opens up, and you're sitting in Gan Eden. You're sitting in Gan Eden, learning Torah's Mashiach. And as they say, as much as you love yourself, that's how much you are going to be there in Gan Eden. As much as you're okay to get rid of all the toxic labels, all the toxic status quo, that's not the word I want to use, all the toxic humor, all the toxicity that we were mud swinging in Gehenna. And if I'm able to go past that, because what do I care? What do I have to lose? Why can't I just surrender? What's going to happen? Oh, I'm going to feel, I'm going to be, okay, so sit in your drag. Okay, but if you want, listen, Chabad is, like I said, he demands. But he's telling you the way it is. And you can tap into that. It's up to you. And it's becoming available now. This is what it means. You're asking, is Mashiach coming in Welt? Is he coming? I'm asking you. It's you're learning this. Tell me what you feel. What are you experiencing? What's going through your head? And this is what they're here to tell us. They're here to tell us very simple. Like, listen, dude. And I'm going to bring you 1,000 mamorim that Oretz is Welt right here. Oretz is not there. Right? You won't find a Maimar that's going to tell you that Oretz is in Shemayim. Leave it up to Chabad and the Rebbe to say, Lamata Masaret Vachim. He'll bring you Oretz in Mikvah Aran, anywhere, especially Mikvah. But he'll bring you Oretz anywhere. Dasam Aviram. Right? He'll bring you like in that Eibishter too. So we are in Oretz, and he's telling you are in Gan Eden. Right there. So as much as you let go of that judgment, that's the word I wanted to use. As much as you're willing to let go of the judgments, that says how much you're going to be in the Mishkan, in the Beis HaMikdash, because there is no more Beis HaMikdash. So what does that mean? Where is that oil going? Istalik. Istalik means more, broader. It goes deeper. What happens when I go through fear right now, when I don't know what's going to happen? What does make the after we're using real-time data? After there were so many promises that Trump is going to be president, and I relied on him, and now it didn't turn out this way. In other words, what Hashem showed us, that He took every legit the dibber that predicts and said here, and he doesn't. What happens now? We're all on the hook. Everybody came out for it. We're all on the hook. What happens now? What happens is now he's in office. What happens to me? It forces me to go into a deeper sense of surrender. It forces me to find something more idle, something more. There's nothing I can do. Nothing. There's nothing I can't stop. And now it's in, and they just turned on the switch, and they switched over, and we're going into motion. What am I going to do? Israel is locking down tomorrow night, right? It's coming. They're gonna lock us in again. London is in lockdown. I'm not using that. I'm just using it to bring a point out in the Maimer to where we are. What are you gonna do? Nothing. I'm going to surrender. And this is what it's about. It's all Or and Choshech. It's not really, we are not really here the way we think we're here. And you're only really here as real as you make it. If you're physically here, then Como de Blaser, they're going to bring ride, they're going to... But if I'm not, all I'm looking is at Or and Choshech, what does this pressure do to me? I got to go deeper. And be like, I have you, whatever happens, happens, and I love you, and that's it. I have no fear. And when I have fear, I'm like, that's here to check me, right? One of my says that when you walk on the street, when a chassid walks on the street of Heller, when a chassid walks on the street, and a dog barks, that fear that you have from the dog, that's the type of fear you got to have from your Creator. What does that mean? What does it mean? That fear that I have from the dog. When I walk through in the street, and the dog comes past me, and I'm like inching. I'm not sure. I'm uncomfortable, right? We didn't grow up with dogs. And this guy comes with a dog, and the dog is snooping around. I get uncomfortable. Or when he barks and I jump. That type of fear I'm supposed to have from my Creator. What does that mean? That means that dog is not really here the way he's here. It's only as real as you are. If you look at him as a physical dog, then he's just a dog that's barking and you're scared. But if you look at everything is creator and everything is Or and Choshech, that dog just barked, and it's showing me that I need to have, you're asking like, what does it mean Yiras Hashem? What does it mean fear of my Creator? That is the Yira that you need right now, because Creator just sent a bark right here and I'm jumping and I'm feeling that fear. That's the type of fear I need to download right now. That's the type of That's the type of oil that's coming my way right now. Everything is oil. He's all good. All nothing but good. Choshech is spinning me because I'm living in my party mode. I'm living in my physical. It's just a physical dog, and he's going to attack me, and he's going to bite me. He can't bite you unless he has to bite you. You can't receive that bite. You cannot not make that amount of money unless you are not supposed to make that kind of amount of money. And if you are, then you're not. And if you think you dried, then you dried like this, because that's what you needed to do in order to make the money. And now it's your bechira that I can choose and think that it was me that did this. Or to understand I had to go through a bitter in my head to understand that I had to dry that much in order to make that money. And then maybe on top of that, my bitter is to understand that even that wasn't me. It wasn't really me that dried. I just had to go through a bitter of chosher. And it's all him. It's all it. Answering your question on what? What was that? Okay.
You start by Tava.
Okay. So that's taiva. That's not taiva. We're saying we're discussing taiva. We're discussing it, that it's everything. In other words, we don't need to figure out. You just have to go into flow. I don't need to figure out what is happening and what it is, because really our innate makeup is a taiva. And if a taiva you don't ask a question. Why? Not because it's so taivadik and I can't overcome it, and therefore that's not what it means. That's a choshech way of looking at it. If a taiva asks questions, because it is the same way an animal does not run into fire, as the Tzemach Tzedek and the Alter Rebbe talk about. Because it's innate in their program that they do not go into water and they don't run into fire. It's part of the makeup. The same way this bottle is holding water, because that's just who it is.
It's a very deep thing. If it has an explanation, then it's not.
Then it's
if
not.
It's in that way, then it's not.
Yeah.
A truth, a reality that has no explanation, shows that it's real. It's real without explanation. It is that way. Yeah, this is in a kidding.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
It's much deeper when it has no explanation.
Not as much. It's much deeper.
Much realer.
Because it just doesn't have.
Let's go. Let's go into the Yevunim for a second. To give you a blick, what happened over here? The Yevunim, they were chachma yuvan. They were very smart. So they put in their scientific brains in everything, trying to understand it. Right? Putting in, this works like this, and this, everything fits. Everything is supposed to have a reason why it is. When really it's just klippa. There is no reason. He had a taiva. He is everything. Don't try to figure me out. Well, you understand? Like what you're doing is you're taking this, right? We said this, and then Golos is this. And then we're here and we're like, COVID mask, no mask. We're figuring it out. And we did it, he did it, they did it. I don't know who did it. It comes from there. No, it's from Eibishter. And it came out. It's all confusion. It's noiga, and in that they're trying to gain control back, and nobody knows what's going on. So first, let's put fear. Let's go back to our original plan. We don't know what. But if you understand that they are also it, they are not people thinking. They have no way of thinking. They have no bechir. Lev sarav avodah b'yad Hashem. They're just moving dummies. They're acting out that act to trigger me to wake up to my consciousness. Right? That's the ultimate. We can play with that too, like as to why, how much power, how awake they are, like all their issues and all that thing. It's a klippa. It's choshech.
So the big question for me, it's so you can get it in the oven, just in the corner of the shield the entire day and say tell him.
You tell me.
It's not happening.
No, so exactly. Because he wants you to go. You have some bitter to do. You're not free flowing yet.
And if it happens, like for a few hours,
then it happened. What do you mean? The Rebbe talks a lot about stealing time to sit and learn. Because you would think like once you're in, you would think like, listen, do I have the right? I have birurim to out there. I have to go. I don't want to. I think I want to go to work. My stomach turns. I have to deal with it. Who has patience for it? Mm-hmm. But this is what he wants. So then comes the Rebbe and he's like, no. I want you to steal time like a thief. What are you dealing with out there anyways?
Steal time of what?
To learn, to sit and talk Eibishter. Bring Ohr in the world. Zam mamshech, open up, go to a choshech and release so you can have more oil. I'm happy. That's oil. That is what he's saying over here. Just be a mishkan in whatever way I'm expressing myself.
When it doesn't work, then it doesn't work even when you steal time.
What do you mean it doesn't work?
You can't get into the flow. You can't get into the flow. You can't get.
Do you want to get very real for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Very real.
Maybe.
Okay, I'm not going to hurt you. It's Yud Alef Shvat. What's flow? Who said what flow is?
What?
Who says what flow is? What is flow? Creator wanted one flow in that place. He wants you to be half asleep and daven today.
Flow in the misery?
No, he wants you to be half asleep and daven today.
What?
Creator wants, when you're saying I'm in flow, who says what level of flow? What level? In my egotistical mind, in my clippidig mind, I'm thinking that today when I daven, I want to feel oiras coming
I'm
down.
not talking about that.
Okay.
I'm talking about letting go of all your created thinkings,
All the noise.
and all your beliefs and subconscious images, and get into flow.
No. So what are you saying? So work on it. What do you
If it
mean?
doesn't work sometimes.
Let me tell you something. There is an neshama inside of you that is a pure light. Okay, that pure light is with you and it's shining. Okay, and until you are not going to align this with that light, you're going to be uncomfortable. You can call it guilt, you can call it depression, you can call it anxiety. Now that we're talking in Chassidus, not energy, let's go deeper than that. So, until you're not going to align that, and guess what? You said, before you came in here, you said, I'm taking this mission, I'm going to help this guy. This is the part of that we went back for that snake. We're like, there's choshech there is an Eibush there, and there's something over there that needs a proper beer. And we rolled up our sleeves because we are Bnei Avram, Bnei Yitzchak, and Bnei Yaakov. We have Rachmanis, we have big hearts, and we said, let's do it. Uncle Esav couldn't get the job done. He said it's not possible. He's like, brother, take my bechayra, take it because you're just a tam. You're a naive person. You think that you can bring tikkun to Toyu? Do you see what I got over here? I'm Esav. I'm red, I'm fire, I'm a powerhouse. And I'm Yitzchak's son. I come from Gevura Yitzchak. Forget it. I'm unstoppable. I am so powerful that I'm so destructive that I'm blowing myself up. And the little Tommy Yaakov was like, yeah, no, sure, no problem. Come, you think I don't need it. You know what it entails? Besamigdash, Timatara. It's like Zagazan, Kach, no? What do you have? A few red balls over there? I'll take it. Okay, so this is who we are. We are doing the job. So it's not like this guy was born, and no, we signed up for that. This is what we said. I'm going to get the job done. I'm going to bring light into this vessel. So you tell me that you have all types of thoughts and your brain is going everywhere. Good. So now you're becoming aware that there is a block. There's all types of incoming and outgoing missiles coming in all directions.
That's your vote, though.
And now this is going to help you. This is going to cleanse you. This is going to open your mind. This is going to set you straight.
That's the work. Doesn't stop.
Now you're going to say, I think what you asked is that if he's everything, then he's in my dark thoughts too. Like that's Eibishter. So comes Torah and tells us that there's Am Kodesh. There is a way. No, that is not him. The Torah is giving us direct in this very complex computer that runs on all this stuff. Comes the Torah and tells us, no. When you have these thoughts, don't get cute with me that that's Eibishter too. No, that needs a bitter. It's there, yeah, you can go then. Once you're mavader it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just wasted a year of my life, 20 years I've been sinful and all that. He's like, no, that was Eibishter too. That was Gamke, that was your opposite, that was pushing you in such a way until you were able to, okay. This is that, evolution. So then we work on that, but until then, no, get rid of it. You know what the right thing is.
So basically, you're not allowed to do like an avira. You're not allowed to give yourself a tava that you want to do. But after you did it, you gotta say that was Eibush to bring it to a better place.
Yes.
Okay.
You would have not. You can't even say it yourself. You would have to have somebody else say it to you, type of thing, right?
It couldn't get tricky,
Right? I'm saying it's that type of thing. It's almost like, in other words, like this. Yeah, listen, I wanted to say something else, but I lost it. Okay. Continuing? You guys want to continue on?
All of them.
Yeah? Alright. Yeah. Okay, the Indian. The Indian who the hinna tachas kavan be brise saus oren zene savakers ba gelis so dir sawe hakers ba gelis lees ba dir betachtanen. She gila the kuslamata al yedei avoid the adam. Through us working, we are generating his oir in Welt. How do we generate that? Al yedei Iskaf'ye Ishap'che. Iskaf'ye is like I'm saying no, I will not do that. And then eventually it's Ishap'che. And this is what I wanted to say. Is that if I am truly in a relationship with Eibishter, with my Creator, and I know what bothers him and what he loves, I will not put myself in a predicament where I'm going to hurt. I can't hurt him. Let me just say, it's mivdal, but let's just say I'm not going to do anything to stop my flow from him. Why would I do that to him? Right? It's an open relationship. And if I'm in that, why would he do something to hurt me? So Elamai, when I feel something that's discomfort, I need to check myself. Is this really discomfort? Because why would he hurt me? I'm in a real relationship with him.
So am I doing it because I don't want to stop
Yes.
the flow for him or for me?
For you. Because this was his tachas hakavana. If this wasn't his tachas hakavana, he wouldn't be oozing oil on you. He would just be giving it to the other side. He's giving it to you because I have consciously. I'm one of his vessels. I'm receiving his oil. Right. So you ask the question. Then when you're clear with that, you say, okay, once it happened, this was his ratzon. Right. Why did I? Again, if I am fully authentic with my Creator, with my relationship with my Creator, then I would not do anything that he does. How do I know? Because I have my Torah. You want to ask me questions about Torah now? That's a whole different thing. Whoever still wants to process that, we can do that some other time. I'm not really sure I want to go there because I get very aggressive. But I'm just saying, but let's just say that the Torah is authentic and everything is real. Like the Torah, we are the real deal. The Yidden are the real deal. Let's just say we all in agreement on that. Okay. From there is I'm understanding what bothers him. I wouldn't do it because why would I want to hurt him? And then when I feel some pain, what's my pain? Okay, it's just telling me something. And then if I slip and I just out of control, that's what he wanted. And that's the avoid right there. Not to sit and dwell in it. Because that you keep buzzing in energy in the wrong exit. Right? Remember, we are real live vessels. I can live from here or I can pull from here. I can get from here or I can get from the white or I can get from the brown. So as I'm thinking this real time, now that you're waking up, that we're not really living 2,500 years ago and 2,000 years later. We're not living like that. We are living in the moment. Everything is opening up right away. So as I did something, I slipped, which is just really a dark level of consciousness that I was trapped into. That's called Satan or Tuma, whatever. Klip is Noiga. Now that I realized that is only because there was a level of light that I had to come in I didn't see, a level of oil, because it's all my manifestation, all my reflection. So once I do that, now that I've done this and I'm like, oh, that was Eibishter waking me up. If I still sit in that chara, then I'm yearning from the brown side. I'm prolonging it. I am avanasechem of dilim, not him. He keeps sending, but I am turning off the valve and I'm like sitting in my. And what happening is I'm tapping into choshech, and choshech is not yearning for me. It has such a power vessel of light that instead of giving to him, it's given to him. This is how they steal. And what do they do with that money that they steal? They sell you that he's not really real. What's going on over here? That's the chutzpah that they have. They have no existence without us because they're the nachas. They have no life. We saw they're going to die, right? I'm jumping the other side. You're going to say, well, we're the nachas. But it's our manifestation. It's here to wake us up. So chazachil. I mean, they're klippa. We're B'nai Yisrael. So as I'm thinking that, where was I?
We were thinking that they have no existence without us.
Yes.
They stealing from us.
So I
and
get
they're selling us.
I get the oil. I'm giving it to them. They're stealing it from me because now I'm in pain and I'm worried and I'm thinking about my future. Blah 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 blah. So they're yearning from me. And what does he do with that money? He takes out an ad against him, saying, "Global warming. Who, man, woman, husband? What are you talking about? We're all one, equal. We love everybody. We don't hate. We hate Israel, not Jews, right? Everything is based on lack of oil. We don't. No, not him. We just don't want Trump. There is no output of oil. There's only Yanika. Why did you vote for this guy? Oh, Biden, a guy that's old? No. Or a party, that's what they stand for? No, not Trump. He's so really so crazy. Not him. It's just a real time. You see how Choshech works. They have no backbone. They have nothing but Choshech. And what are they going to do now? Lock you in. More Choshech. So as you are in Choshech, they get to live another day. Whatever the game is, whatever the play is. But the part is that this is what they do. So as you do something that's wrong, the one good thing, the good deed you can do back to him now, to Creator, forgive yourself. This is Rav Nachman, right? Forgive yourself. But I want to sit there because what do you want to? What's pulling you to sit?
Who wants to sit there? Your ego wants to sit there, right?
Your Noiga wants you. Your Nefesh Bahamas wants you to sit there. My Nefesh Bahamas wants. Where did it start? Because my parents and my already beat me, so I innately process only on left. I don't process on right. I can go through my life 20, 30 years, and I don't process right. I don't process from the light. All I am processing from oil. I'm like, running to work, running to learn, running. When do you just sit? Don't think. Right? So what you can do for him is, as soon as you do that, just forgive yourself and just put a smile on your face, sit with it for a minute, process, do whatever you got to do, a kapitel tilim, tzedakah, whatever, mikvah, do whatever you do that makes you feel better, forgive yourself, and move on with life. And now he is like, okay, job well done. Right? That's what it is. So this is real time avodah.
That's Dira B'Tachtonim, right?
That's powerful Dira B'Tachtonim. That's Magen Shabbat Shuvah ain't tzaddik because the tzaddik could not bring Elokus into that place. He's locked up in his room. He's just holding lights for us. He's sitting over there and he's just holding. You come and you say the Shabbos to him and he's just giving you. He has no clue. All he's doing is that he doesn't step out of his. Some tzaddikim did step out of their daladamas, but again, not to get busy with that, just to bring light into that place. But we are the frontline soldiers that are going into the pit, and we're bringing in a Elokus in such a low place. And this is where he says, wow. And this is the lowest consciousness, because Seif Mas Machshavat Tchilah. The end result is what was in his mind first. So as we are here in Ikvas Mashiach, where the last moments of Galus, this was his kavanah, that he wanted people to see him in this place. In such a modern time that Eibishter has no room, but Mitamal, it's like he's busting out everywhere. Right? Because Klippa thinks as they suppress. At some point, people are like, what are you talking about?
If I may ask, you keep on saying it, that we see some salvation, some oil. Where else do you see it besides these checking groups? And you see it between people in business and on the street?
You have to look. You have to open your eyes.
Okay, so
I understand there is a shift going on.
What do you mean? The ganze Chinuch-industrie is upside down.
So what's happening is like this. On every level it's happening, but just in the simplest...
You mentioned about Chayda before.
In the simplest way you see it is that even the people that are still working, they have to go to work. You can see there's no teeth anymore in the bite. There's no... It's already like people are wounded. People are already dizzy. They're not sure what's happening. Nobody is fired up, and the plumbers are still running. People need to fix their toilets, but I'm saying there is, mamash people there are still very asleep. I mean, they're still going on, but I think, when was the last time? I was just asking somebody.
Even the typers, they're not like...
When was the last time you heard somebody reference somebody, how successful this guy is? This guy has so many buildings, he flipped that deal, it's just amazing. Tell me the last time you heard something like that. How do people talk right now? I haven't heard people reference anybody by the level of success based on real estate, how much real estate they had. Did you hear that lately?
And more than that,
No, tell me, because maybe I'm stuck in my world, but
I'm seeing it in kind of like it used to be the fanciest weddings used to be the talk of the town.
right.
My father used to make the most fanciest weddings, and like everyone was like, "Wow, this and that and this." Now fancy wedding, people's like, "What do you mean? Like you stupid?"
Yeah.
People don't like.
Actually,
Like, what's going on?
It did. It broke the tiger.
Now before even COVID,
Like even
It's
movie
happening
stars,
lately.
it's not like such a big. It did.
bacon, the whole heating industry is blowing up.
Yeah.
Even like eating out in restaurants, it was a whole. Now it's.
Yeah. So you ask me there's change.
Yeah.
Of course there's
Yeah.
change. Of course. Now, again, watch how Choshech works. Choshech makes what we're doing right now is like, this is normal. Like this is normal that I'm sitting Sunday evening, learning something. Like that's normal. But what else is not? What else is not? Because no, this is also not normal.
Right.
Right? It's not normal.
Not with a bunch of summer students.
No, whatever. I'm saying
serious.
that you may think that you took the initiative. Remember something. You're taking initiative that way. You know, some people are still running to work, like with the same fire, because they just don't know. Because you can be right next, but if you don't have the door to the Gan Eden, you're gonna be circling around for a minute. So now it's your job to just hold that space. Holding space is like Pashat, be in your mind in that space. But be in their mind and say, talk to people from like nothing. Don't get cuckoo with them because they're gonna. But just be. If I am in that space automatically, now that you know that everything is oil, everything is oil energy. I just have to be a light. When you turn on the light, I don't care if you're in the mood with me, but the light is in your face. Okay. So this is what you're dealing with. This is what you're dealing with. Is mamshichin b'china shoichanad. I mean, this is what he's saying. Shoichanad morim v'kodesh. Sheyeh begilu lemata. Yeah. Okay. So we talk about Iskaf'ye Ishap'che. Then Neshama tered lamata l'stavish beguf and Alef Shvat Behem yelimi vestir l'oyer Neshama. I gotta go back a line. Let me see because it's in the middle. V'hinyan hu dehina tachas. What is this taiva? The ikeshchin and these little tana. V'hinyan hu dehina tachas. Kavan b'bris v'savos ha'olam and Nesava kodesh baruch Elish le'izbarach dira b'tachtonim. Wow, I keep messing it up. The Nesava kodesh baruch Elish le'izbarach dira b'tachtonim. I keep throwing the loy and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is one of the things that I'm working on for years. The Nesava kodesh baruch Elish. Yeah, okay, the third line from the top.
Okay.
The Nesava kodesh baruch Elish le'izbarach dira b'tachtonim. Sheyeh gila l'kus lamata al yidei avodas ha'adam. There should be, he had a taiva, there should be gilui l'kus, there should be a revelation of Eibishter, of a l'kus, of Creator. See me and everything. Don't take it literally. The tree is not just a piece of wood that is growing. There is an oil in there that's forcing it up. And I gave an exact amount of oil, that type amount of oil, so it manifests in that way and in that color and in so many twigs. Not because it grew so nicely, not because I give it that amount of oil every single day. And today's not today. This week is Tu B'Shvat, okay, which the Rebbe says this morning. The Rebbe prophesizes that. So it starts Rosh Chodesh in Tishrei. They already done the trees also, and then tonight is the night where they start. Tu B'Shvat is the night where they start taking the new orders from the new year, whatever that means, right? Why the Rebbe wrote a whole sikha about it, so I'm sure there is something there. Okay, the neshama tered lamata leslavish beguf v'nefesh habahamis. Sheila is both area the Kusamata is the one you got Shvat Iskaf'ye. Sheila Gila Kusamata the avodas ha'adam the Iskaf'ye Ishap'che. The neshama tered lamata leslavish beguf v'nefesh habahamis. The neshama comes down here lamata and it's slavish in a guf and a nefesh habahamis. Vehem yalimi v'yastira oyer neshama. And they are master, they hide the oil of the neshama. And through all that, the neshama is forcing that there should be a bitter and a zikach, a cleansing and a bitter, the nefesh habahamis. In other words, like we said before, there is this neshama, this pure thing that keeps. There's a yearning, there's a unique, there's something that I want and I need. And I'm forced, I am depressed, and I'm this, and I'm this, and I'm that, and it's not my cigarette, it's not my food, it's not my wife, until you finally get to this bitter. V'gam chelka ba'olam. Interesting, v'gam chelka ba'olam is, you understand what he's saying, it is very, very profound. V'gam chelka ba'olam, Shat is that don't question where you are. You're not, like we said before, the Baal Tshuva and all that. You are, because of who we are, we're exactly where we need to be.
Where are you supposed to be?
It's very powerful 2 words, right? We spoke about it before. Okay. And this means make me a migdash and I'm going to rest inside it. But inside each and every one of you. This is through the work of avodas abirurim. The Shvat Iskaf'ye Ishap'che. The whole spiel is the key, the 2 master keys are Iskaf'ye Ishap'che. Like Iskaf'ye, holding myself back, and Ishap'che, at some point it becomes who I am. Once I'm holding myself back, again, when I'm stopping, this is how you do this. When you have a temptation, take it back to the source of where it comes from. Why do I want this? Why do I need this? What is this doing? Where is it coming from? No, I don't want to. Not only don't want to do this, get the heck out. What are you, nuts? I'm getting oil from this thing and I'm going to use it against him? What am I, a psychopath? What do I need this garbage for? What do I need this for? Take it back, this entry, this is Gira Torah. Like, take it back to the end, to the beginning. And from there, if you do Iskaf'ye, then you have Ishap'che. You turn on a different type of oil. If you do open up a biskle shark kamachet, and you have to look shark, whatever, I don't know the pasuk. You open up a needle, do a little bit, and he's going to open it, because no longer do I look at it as a physical thing. Something physically has to happen. In my mind, I'm saying no, I have to complete Iskaf'ye. I'm going back to it, and I'm like, I don't want to do this because I don't want to go into darkness. And as I'm thinking this, I'm reprogramming myself, and I don't have that temptation anymore.
What do you mean, take it back to the original?
If I have a taiva, or if I have a certain desire, and I want to do something on Shabbos or whatever it is, go back to where it's coming from. It's not really a taiva. We got to have a taiva to eat something, or have a taiva to whatever it is that you're struggling with. You take it back to where it's coming from. And once I'm mindful, don't just like, no, listen, I don't want to do it. You do want to do it. What do you mean? My body is programmed. I am that type of oil. What are you hacking me and shining? Don't be real with yourself. I do want to. I have a taiva for whatever it is. Okay? And I don't want to do it because it's going to put me into a place of darkness. I'm not interested. Okay? Then you do that. That's called Iskaf'ye. And then it's Ishap'che. Then you
so that energy is
now he sends you a double energy of that, and now I'm able to. So what would happen was, given that taiva, I can be spinning that over in my head to have a desire to, whenever I have this type of taiva, it takes away. I clean my whole body from any type of anxiety or depression, because all that is just a block of my flow of oil. So when I have a taiva, I take that taiva, because the taiva is him. That's him tapping me, him reaching through me. He's burning through me. He's asking me, like, I'm here. That's him. And I take that and I say, no, I'm going to use it in a pure way. I'm not going to use it over there. I'm using it in a pure way. No, boom. And then you get a whole cleansing. Every time you have a type, it's like, thank you. Now I can clean my whole body from any type of block. It's the most powerful cleansing you can have. Right? Imagine taking a type like Zer Levatola, and then you're like, I'm not going to use it out. I'm going to use it in. And I'm going to send that desire through my whole body, straight up in from my brain, into Keser, with the desire of a request or something that I want. Or ask a refuah for somebody, right? Use it, like, flip it on its head. That's called Iskaf'ye. That's a proper Iskaf'ye. Like, bring it down. I want to, but I won't. You want to be a warrior? That's what a warrior does. A warrior is a fighter, a chayal. You want to be a chayal? Okay, so this is what you got to do. What are you going to do? There's some casualties there. But we're not afraid of dying, because
lose a battle and win the war.
No, we don't lose any battles even. Every battle is a battle. You can look at it as a battle that I lost, or as a battle as for my next battle, prepping me for my next battle.
Lose the battle and win the war.
You're saying oisius. I'm being real.
Okay.
Because until I win the war, what's the war? When I die, that's the war. Every day is a battle that I win. And if I didn't win, who says I need to win? Because in my mind, I need to flow like this. No, today the flow was like that.
What happens when we connect the way I say no and then I do what? It still burns the desire. Now what? I connect with the desire and
You do a positive. You use it positively.
I'm acting on the desire in a good way.
Yeah. Of course. Call a friend or go out there and just, go eat. Think about, or use it a time to pray. Use it a time to pray. Say, Hashem, heal me. I'm just weak, and just heal me, and He's going to send His healing. Daven for somebody else if you don't think you're worth it. Use it for somebody else. Use it for somebody that you know is struggling. Your mother, your father. Use it for them. Like heal them. Because I'm a product from that. It's a powerful prayer tool. It's the Yesod, right? It's what connects everything.
Still, most of the times when you get in a place when you want to do something very wrong, it's also, I see it that way, that it's when you already have your problems, that you don't deserve anything, and
You're already incautious.
Yes. You know what I say?
No.
Like, a goy hat toch de problem, then it is kaputt. Nicht dan desire, verstaat? Yeah? You get my question?
I go with all the problem when it's
The
good.
problem when you want to do some wrong thing is also when you are already in the confusion.
So de tabe. En dan ga je ze afpikken naar de kaiwa van corner, ja? He's there because something happened before.
When he's in proper flow, he doesn't even think towards that.
We search for oxygen, yeah?
Stop right there. You said it right. You said it all. When I am already in a type, I'm already broken.
Yeah.
I'm already in a spin. My day did not go good. My boss told me I'm an idiot. My wife got me off the net. My mother is not seeing me or her, and I can't connect, okay? I'm in that spin. Now you are like, I'm not. I'm suffocating. Comes a taiva. What is the taiva here to do? What does a taiva tell me? A taiva tells me that until now, my energy level was from 1 to 100. I was at 50. And now comes a surge of Nis'avoloi Kodesh Baruch, and I'm feeling myself in a more awake way than I felt myself all day because I have a taiva. So what is it here? So I'm taking the choshech, and I know He has to be only good. So why is He sending me a taiva? And I know that I'm in a relationship with Him. Why would I screw Him over? Because He's sending me an or. So am I going to be a chutzmiak and use that against Him? Or am I going to say, okay, He's sending me a taiva to recognize that He is here, and I'm using that for a time to pray. My whole day is fakakt. I'm in such a spin. Everybody's taking advantage of me. Thank you for sending me a taiva. So now I feel a surge of energy. I'm like, Hashem, help me because I'm about to go bust. Only You can save me. And see what happens.
Wow. Okay.
So that's the wake-up call.
Of course. If I keep coming to you like this, okay, if you're a slave, if you're an idiot, Chaz v'sholom an idiot. Let's just say, I'll tell you, call an idiot in a minute. If you're a slave, you're like, ow, 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 why is He beating on me? Stop it already. What does He want from me? But once I'm not a slave anymore and I'm a master, I'm like, okay, whoa, what do you want? What does He want? Wait a second. He's not hitting me for no reason. That guy can't hit me without Him pushing Him, manifesting. And if He is able to manifest Him on me this way, that means that I'm lacking this. Because if I stand like this, He's not coming to me like that. The fact that He's able to to make fun of me in school and bully me around is because I'm projecting that lack of energy. I'm making space for that. So if somebody keeps hitting me, now I'm turning around. I'm like, okay, what does He want? He wants me to turn around. I'm like, okay, I see you. Now I see you. And now I can talk to you. Like how do I talk to Him? He's talking to you. He's sending you a desire. He's sending you. He's like, I hear you. You're in Mitzrayim. You're working hard. You can't keep up and everything, all that. And now I have a burning desire. Where is this coming from? Okay, but my oir is telling me, whoa, why would I do this to him? And then expect something back, and I'm already in a despair. Okay, so I'm sending you a raft. I'm here. I'm saving you.
And the whole shmiz was worth just for the last 2 minutes.
So if Maaseh Shabbat Shalom.
Come on.
I think we're done. Yeah. I mean, unless you guys want to go 6 or 7. You guys want to go?
What time?
It's 7:45.
I'm going on the Zoom from the weekend.
What time? What time?
8 o'clock. But
Okay,
I
so-
can do that in my bedroom.
Okay.
Let me ask you a different
You
question,
can
not
stay all night.
related to this at all.
And
Why
then
do we wear a couple? I was told that if you don't wear a capo, the alibi is gonna fly out. Last time I checked, I didn't see anything flying out.
First of all-
Yura Malka, right?
What?
A yarmulke.
I don't know. First of all, the letters flow out regardless.
That's right. It can float from here.
The letters always flow, and it depends. And we should have pure thoughts and learn this, so we have pure letters that we send up. The second thing is that we go with the yarmulke because it reminds us to humble ourselves that there is something that I'm not this. There's something. I'm working for. I'm just flowing. What? The tzitzis are your protection. The tzitzis are our comfort. This is a mitzvah, and it's protecting us. It brings us 613 mitzvahs. This is for us to be like. I have a hat. I'm in uniform, right? I have like a soldier has his hat, whatever level is at, right? If you're in the highest level, you have a bigger one. If you start off, you have a smaller one.
Oh, what is
Right?
supposed to do with it? It's on top of your head. I mean, it's like on your head. It's a kesser.
Isn't it Yura
You
Malka?
feel that
yarmulke
something's above you.
is a combination of
It
Yura.
reminds you that the Eibush.
A Yira Malka? Oh yeah, could be. I mean,
That's the yarmulke word.
I didn't say yarmulke in Shulchan in Torah. I think it's a.
Yiddish Shvat.
Yeah, but I'm saying beseder. What is Yiddish Shvat? It's also it has some
Oisius.
yeah, it's real oisius. So that's the word. What is dir betachtanim? The kol echad ve'echad. That's the word, and
You remember Rhapsody?
yeah. I guess we'll stop over here, and I think we're gonna continue with this
Yeah.
till the end. We're gonna finish this one.